When I was working in academia, I didn't feel I expressed my vulnerability in my situations there. And I am being called upon in a lot of different ways to bring in that vulnerability. I have half a book sitting written, but it's the descriptive stuff. It's not the emotional reflection stuff that one of my assignments I had in a gender and household class in my undergraduate, it I didn't get a great mark on it. And when I went up to her after to ask, like, hey, what happened here? So that way I knew what to do for next time. She's like, hey, I'm not changing your mark. I'm like, no, I'm not asking you to change my mark. I'm asking you for help. So with that, she explained that I didn't go into reflection like into my personal life on it very much. And I never really, I did the assignment after and I didn't really think much of it until later. But I feel like I'm running into that assignment again with my book because it asks me to be honest and realistic about my life, which has been hard to do because when was reading studies from a research point, as from a librarian standpoint, in finding articles for researchers for doing these very important studies, because I believe even developing the language around um, like children with complex health conditions, I believe the language that they're developing of defining those concepts is so very important to be able to have a cohesive network, because defining that language goes such a long way, because otherwise everyone's everywhere at once. On a personal level, I'm reading these articles on resilience. I'm reading these articles on autonomy and what it requires for a person with disabilities. And I never really looked at myself from those perspectives and standpoints, but I know I probably would have been in the systems. I was followed by an itinerant teacher for my hearing. I am blind in one eye, and that's been largely, I feel, ignored, but I, see, I just don't know how to feel about my own disabilities even, right? And reading about people with disabilities who have succeeded, it has a different feel or a different story. I look at videos of how people with disabilities are portrayed. I look at the disability communities, especially those with chronic pain. It's, depression is no doubt a huge, rampant factor in all of it. Absolutely. Because it does take a lot. It takes a hell of a lot. It does. You have to pick yourself up off the ground constantly and on a regular basis because no one else will. It's not about the community you're in. It's not about the friends you have. It's not about the family you have. It's about yourself and what you're capable of doing and pulling yourself up and doing, because nobody else will do it for you. You show up initiative, it will come. Ask and ye shall receive. It will come. You have to show the initiative. In the Christian faith, they say, ask and ye shall receive. And I completely do believe that, because without asking, how is somebody to know you're needing of accommodation? Do I look disabled? No, I'm actually not wearing my glasses tonight for the first time because I actually see better without my glasses at this distance. I can actually enjoy doing this without my glasses, which my sinuses will thank me one day. Very, very soon. Very, very soon. A lot of pressure there. See, that's stuff you wouldn't know, you wouldn't realize that I have to deal with at the end of the day after the meetings are done. Because I don't want you to have to worry about that stuff. But I also need the compassion and kindness when I make requests or even just in a day-to-day conversation of saying hello. Because I know what it takes. I have to remind myself of that right now, that I know what it takes. I I have to remember at 17 when I was really pissed off with the school system. I did not like where I was, did not like who I was hanging out with, did not like the paths I was following, didn't like an iota of it. And on the last night in my hometown, I'm like, F everybody, and I'm gone. And I took off to Ontario because that's what it took to get out. No one else. I had to get everybody on board. Absolutely. That's where the community comes in. But you know what? How do you get the community? There's the question. How do people accumulate community and friends and such? It still takes the person. It takes the person to initiate the conversation. It takes onboarding people. It takes getting the words together. Sometimes the right applications to be able to show that you have the backing to be able to do everything. It comes down to your own initiatives and due diligence. Follow up, write the letters, steadily keep moving forward. And anything and everything is possible. I know. I can see the ways. I can always see the way. And that's the beauty of it. There's always a way. And I know how to navigate them and figure them out. I look forward to helping other people do the same, quite honestly. Because there's a value in that skill. It's lifelong, it's lifetime. It's an underpinning skill that anybody and everybody needs to survive and learn to thrive too.